Over the last 3 years, I've built and scaled my content agency and I've helped dozens of service-based businesses. And in this video, I'm going to teach you the 3 types of content that actually work to generate leads, to build trust, build relationships, and ultimately to get new clients in the door for your local service-based business. Okay? And so I imagine right now, if you look at your Instagram account, you're either doing one of 2 things. You're either posting trends with the audio voiceover thing, and you're acting out and trying to like mouth the words, like lip sync the words to certain trends, or in the exact opposite spectrum, and you are posting graphics that are irrelevant and they really don't make any sense. You're posting promotional deals on your feed, whether they're just photos that are only seen to like the 40 followers you have, or you're posting pictures of your team that has no reference, no context, so people don't know who they are, what they do, or why you're showing this random person, okay? And so all of these things are a recipe for disaster, and it's a recipe for nobody following you or actually giving you the time of day, which is not good. It's not what we want, and that actually does the opposite. It repels people from you instead of drawing them in, okay? So in this video, I'm gonna show you the 3 types of content that actually work, that have worked for my clients over the last 3 years, that I've done organic content for, okay? And so just to preface, this is organic content we're talking about that builds this credibility to your page, authority to your page, that you can't do otherwise, okay? And in the big picture strategy of what I teach, there's a paid and an organic side of this. And so when you put those 2 together, it makes chef's kiss. It's like a brilliant strategy that works for service-based businesses, local businesses. It's amazing. Works for me. I do it for myself. So in this video, I'm going to teach you exactly how that works, okay? As you can see here on the trusty iPad, we have 3 types of content. The first one here is called connection content. The second one is called value content. And the third one is called proof content. Pretty self-explanatory, but lucky for you, we're going to go over it in depth here in this video. And so if you notice, there's a K, there's an L, and there's a T underneath each of these categories of content, each of these types of content. And let's go into what each of these mean, okay? So you may be thinking to yourself, why do I need these 3 types of content? There's a million different types or things that I could do. Why are these 3? And that's an easy question to answer. It's because people will not do business with you until they know you, they like you, and they trust you. It's psychology 101, okay? You're not gonna do business with somebody you don't know, like, or trust in some capacity or some way. That's why if you ever go to a mechanic, you don't have a local mechanic that you trust already, you're gonna look up Google reviews, you're gonna look up Yelp reviews, you're gonna make sure that there's a high rating, you're gonna make sure they're not gonna scam you, right? And that's exactly what people are doing with your business, no matter what it is. And so just keep that in mind whenever it comes to producing content, because if you're not doing that, you're doing the exact opposite. You're repelling people, okay? And so there's really only 2 reasons people will choose you. It's because they know, like, and trust you, or it's because they're more aware of you than any other place. If you're visible, then people will have a good understanding of who and how you can service them, okay? And so let's move on. I wanna dive into each of these types of content, and the first one I wanna go over is proof content, okay? So this is very self-explanatory, and this is kind of like the conversion kind of content almost in a way, okay? And when I say conversion content, I actually did a video on there on my channel that tells a little bit deeper into conversion content, and you can find that and watch that after this video. But here's what I mean by proof content. Have you had any successful clients, okay? If you're watching this video, you're most likely a service-based business that's doing decent right now. You just haven't tapped into social, okay? And so you're here to learn how to do that, and I'm here to teach you how to do that. And so have you had any successful clients? And if you're doing well right now, the odds are that yes, you have had some successful clients, okay? We wanna start showcasing those people, okay? We wanna start showcasing the client wins, the befores and afters, the testimonials of these successful client wins and case studies that you have and that you've had for maybe years that you just haven't leveraged properly or to its full capacity, okay? So the catch here is this needs to be in a video format. Lots of people have written testimonials and written reviews, and those are great. I always encourage you to get those. Fill up your Google reviews with 5 stars. We love that. There's strategies for that too that we know. But the difference and the differentiator for you and your business is going to be videos. You are going to get your cell phone. You're going to take a selfie with your old client or your current client that has a successful story that has come from the service you've provided. You're going to say, hey, Janet, Can you tell us a little bit more about how a plumbing company has actually helped you get rid of all the problems you've had in your whole house? Just tell us how the experience was. Tell us how our team did, and would you use us again or recommend us to anybody? And then Janet, or Janice, whatever I said, is going to thoroughly enjoy and appreciate the fact that you're allowing her to be on video, right? Of course, don't just randomly pull out your phone and start filming. Say, hey, ma'am, do you mind if I get a testimony of you real quick? I need it for our social media. Is that okay? And they're most likely going to be okay. All you got to do is ask. And the key here is not only is it a video, but you want to have your face in the video too. And that's very important to this strategy because of the fact that we are building the trust here, right? That's what the proof content does, is build trust. And so what we're doing here is the business owner, you need to be in the video with the client. And that doesn't necessarily need to be selfie style. You can have somebody, Janet's husband, record you guys. You can have your team member record you guys. As long as you are both in the video, that is a big key element of what's going on. So that is proof content. It's super important that you do this. We want to do this at least once or twice a week, depending on how many testimonials and case studies that you have. And just keep that in mind, okay? So second point here is our second type of content, which is value content, okay? And this is a big one that people really misunderstand often because like a lot of the times people are just like, what is value content? I mean, value is such a vague word, and I'm sure you've heard it a million times. But in this video, I'm going to actually teach you how to boil it down to something that's actually tangible for a customer, okay? So value content, here's kind of what I categorize it as. Value, I got this definition actually from a guy named Brian Mark. He's an online fitness coach he's a business coach for fitness trainers, and he crushes. His content is amazing, okay? The definition of value is someone can get a actual tangible result from your content without actually hiring you, okay? So in the context of a service business, let's just say home services or blue collar. Sometimes if you're construction or something like that, it's hard to give tangible, value that people can walk away and just start doing because they may need tools, they may need certain equipment. But if they're looking into it anyways, they most likely already have it or we're willing to invest in that, right? And so here's what I would say. Tips and tricks are great. Like let's say you're a lawn care service, right? You do lawns. I would give the best tips and tricks you have to keeping your grass green all year round, and you can even use that as separate videos. Here's how to keep your grass green in the springtime without it, like scorching, or the same with the summer. Here's how to keep your grass green in the summer. Here's how to keep your grass green in the winter, right? 3 separate videos for 3 different seasons, all right? And the 4th one, you can actually, do it for all the seasons. That's the tips and tricks. I would recommend like just one video for one specific tip or trick, okay? I wouldn't make one video that has 20 tips and tricks unless you can repeat that often. I would give lists up to 3, top 3 tips and tricks, okay? That's a tongue twister. Okay, another thing is step-by-step tutorials or instructions. So in this video, I am telling you the 3 types of content, and I'm telling you the step-by-step formula on how actually to make the content work for you and to get leads and generate sales and all that good stuff from your Instagram account. So you could actually do something that's like, here's the step-by-step playbook on how we keep our grass green year-round and how it always looks amazing. Or here's a step-by-step play on how to get the certain pattern in your grass when you're mowing your lawn, right? Something along those lines would be an amazing step-by-step type of post you can create. And then we have experiences. Another thing that is like, if you're the business owner and if you've ran the business for a number of years, or you have a vast experience in this certain industry, what you can do is talk about the experiences that you've had and give that valuable perspective that only time allows for, right? And so if you've been in business for 5 years, 10 years, 3 years, 8 years, then talk about an experience that would be relevant to a homeowner or somebody that needed a customer potentially, or a lead. Talk about an experience that would be relevant to them and what they need to know. Like, put yourself in their shoes and just be like, okay, whenever I was first getting into this, I know that a lot of people normally ask this question. And so let me just give some takes on my perspective from somebody who's been doing it for 15 years. Okay, that is something that people love. They get value from it. And even if they don't get tangible value that they're gonna use that day or that week, they can have it in their back pocket, and it's sort of entertaining in a way as well. Okay. One thing we want to make sure we're doing is we want to use a strong hook, and a hook is the first 3 to 5 seconds of a video. That's what keeps people on the video when they scroll on it and they see it. Now keep in mind, a service-based business we're not trying to go viral. So like the hooks matter, they always matter, but not in regards to like going viral and getting millions and millions of views. Okay, that's not what we're going for. That's not a bad thing to do if you can do it and if you're willing to put the time and effort into it. But we're more doing things that are going to kind of like tailor towards that ideal customer that we have when they're ready or when they need the service that we provide. Okay, but a hook that you could use would be like, instead of saying 5 tips and tricks to get your lawn perfect, you could say, avoid this thing when you're mowing your lawn, right? That way we're kind of throwing in a little bit of a negative hook, a little bit of fear, so they're like, oh wait, what am I doing wrong, right? We want to entice them to do it and avoid this thing, rather than just saying, here are 5 tips and tricks that you can use to mow your grass. I don't recommend those kind of style videos anymore. They used to be really popular, but not as much anymore. And so use what's called a negative hook, and use ChatGPT to say, hey, help me come up with 20 video topics for value from my business perspective to an audience that would be interested in my service. Okay? And then from here, you could say, okay, great, thanks for the topics. Can you give me 5 negative hooks for each topic so that I can make a reel from it? And ChatGPT will help you give you the most viral hooks. Okay? It's awesome. Okay, so you can also do helpful videos, like if you are, I don't know, let's just stick with the lawn care thing. If you're a lawn care person and you know that these certain weed eater string is the best, then I would say, hey, here's how you replace your weed eater strings. And I would actually use this type of string here because it's the best. We've noticed that we've got the most longevity out of it. It's the cuts the best. It doesn't dull as fast. All these things. Those are helpful kind of videos. And then the last thing I'll say is one of the most important things you can do is make a video answering your frequently asked questions and put it on your Instagram. Maybe even pin them if it's a very, very, very frequently asked question. This is very overlooked. People don't do this. People don't make videos answering questions, because then you will reduce the amount of time people ask you that question once they see that video. And then if anybody ever does ask you that question, you can simply send them the video and save yourself a bunch of time, because you answered that question once, you filmed it, and now you can send it to as many people as you need until the answer to that question may change, if it changes, but most likely they won't change. Okay? And so this all builds trust and credibility with an audience, okay? Especially if they're local, we want to build the trust and keep it high, okay, and build that relationship up. Okay, so that brings us to our third type of content, which is connection content. And I want you to hear my tone in this. This is the most important piece of content you can make. Let me tell you why. Connection content is what separates you from every single person in your industry, okay? And let me explain why on that. Everybody thinks that their unique factor or the unique point of their business is the quality that they do, the people that they have, the attention to detail that they take. In reality, every single person almost in the world is saying, we have the best quality, we have the best people, we pay the most attention to detail. That's everybody's pitch, right? And so if that's everybody's pitch, then it's not unique. And so what makes you unique? What makes you stand out? Well, it's the character of the business owner. It's the character of the figure that is in charge of the business, okay? And so that's why we like what I call sometimes like founder-led marketing, founder-led content. It's because there's only one founder of this company specifically, of your company specifically, and it's you. And you have characteristics and personality traits and hobbies and all these things that you do that separate you from the other people in your industry, in your local town. And so what we want to do is we want to advertise that. We just want to get it out there. You don't have to exploit your children, but you can share that you have children. You don't have to put their face on camera. You don't have to put your wife's face on camera or your husband's face on camera. But if you do, it just connects. It helps people resonate with you outside of business. And so I like to do this by what's called the 4 Fs, okay? It's faith, family, food, and fitness. Obviously, if you don't do one of these, then plug in something that you do that would also connect with other people, right? So a lot of people share my faith. A lot of people have family as well. And when they see that I have a family, it resonates with them. If you share your food on your Instagram stories, that's amazing. Keep doing that. And then fitness, if you're into health and fitness, then like document your journey a little bit in your stories. You can do this as well, okay? And so this is what separates you and connects you on levels that are just deeper than business, making people trust and connect with you more, okay? It connects with people outside of business as just a human, as a person to person, face-to-face kind of thing. This is what like is empowering for others to want to choose you and to feel confident in choosing you, okay? And so these are the 3 types of content that I recommend all my clients make. And here's another thing that you have to know, okay? You must be in the video. Your face, you have to be in the videos, okay? This is the biggest thing. The founder has to be in the video. The owner of the company has to be in the videos. And I know it's uncomfortable. I know you don't want to do it. I know it's so weird and weird feeling and gross, but you'll get better at it. And it'll become less and less weird, less and less hard to do, and it will eventually become a part of your business that actually helps you get more sales and revenue and help more people. What's better than that? There's nothing better than that, okay? So your face must be in the video, okay? And so here are some things that I want you to take away from this video that will help you stand out even more when you implement these certain types of content in your strategy. So the first thing is, the key is delivery and messaging, okay? So delivery means how are you saying it? How are you getting it across? And then your messaging are the actual words that you're trying to get people to understand, okay? And so think through the lens of your ideal customers, okay? Not of a business owner who's been doing it for 20 years or 5 years or 2 years, but think through the lens of somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about. They don't know why they need your service or if they need your service yet. They just know that, hey, my dang car is not working right now. I don't know what to do. Or like, is my roof supposed to look like that? Or my grass is always dead. How do I keep my grass alive? You know, like these are the things that people are thinking. They're not experts like you. You know what I'm saying? It's like the analogy of like the fish swimming in water. It's like the fish doesn't know it's in water just because it lives and it's always lived in the water. But outside of the tank, you can clearly see that the water is there, right? So as an expert in video marketing and social media content, I know all these things that almost feel like common sense to me, but so many people have no idea what I'm talking about. And so that's why what I offer is so valuable, is because people don't know. And the same with your service-based business. People don't know what it is that you know, or else they would do it themselves. And that's why service-based businesses are a thing, okay? So think through the lens of the customer and not through the lens of yourself. Make sure that your delivery, your tonality is good. We don't want to be monotoned. We don't want to just, like, hey, I'm like, yeah, I just do this. We don't want to be condescending. We want to make sure that we're delivering it with proper tonality and the messaging behind what we're saying is good. Something that they can understand. And here's an inside tip. I wasn't planning on sharing this, but you have to not use insider lingo. Don't use your own lingo as somebody inside the industry. Use the industry or the lingo that the customers would use. For me, I can't say, video content aperture. I can't say brightness scale, or I can't say, aspect ratio. I have to say, what do the colors look like? What is your, how does it look in the camera? Is it tilted? Is it straight up? Or is it angled down? I can't use like the frame rate and stuff. I have to talk in layman's terms so that everybody can understand what I'm talking about when it comes to cameras or filming or angles or social media. And so the same is true with you. Don't use inside like plumber lingo or lawn care lingo. Use language that they would understand, okay? And then the last thing is, I want to touch on this again, is use strong hooks. So I have an example for you here. Instead of saying 5 tips to clean your gutters, say, stop cleaning your gutters like this and do this instead, right? Something like that. ChatGPT can help you if you give them prompts, okay? And then the last thing I want to say on this will feel very weird. It just will. It's the reality of doing something new, doing something definitely in home services and in service-based and blue-collar businesses. This is going to be weird because, well, it's just awkward. And frankly, you've never done it, and you're probably going to get looked at weird by your peers. But the reality is, your competition is not doing this, and that's why it's going to work for you even better than it could work for them. Because by the time they get to the weird part of just starting, you're already levels ahead, and people know, like, and trust you more than they know, like, and trust the other people. Okay, so this is going to be your competitive advantage, is pushing through the weirdness, pushing through this hard initial phase, and getting the results that you want. So I hope this video was helpful for you. And if you want my help with this for your business, founder-led marketing, social media strategy, and honestly just using the media flow method on Instagram to get more clients and leads, then hit me up. There's a link in the description. Click that link, watch the video, and then just follow the steps, right? Just whatever. So click that link, and then don't forget to like and subscribe to this video, and we'll see you in the next one. God bless.